second now, really. Thank you. How nice. You haven't heard the musical yet? Not at all. Hello there. How very nice to have your company. It's a delight to be here. I've done the first musical. So this is something we've been doing for the new series of this podcast, which is this Now Here Now. And I finished it last night. Before midnight, which was kind of a surprise, and I'm okay with it. It's all right. It's all right. There's a lot of little kinks in it I'd like to iron out, but I'm willing to let it go. Good morning to everyone watching live. Good morning, Rick. Good morning, Steph. Good morning, Martin. Good morning, Emily. And Steph observes watching live. Have we ditched the shirts now then? Yes, you've had, I made the effort. What was it, 2 days? I think you got 2 days of shirts. I'm sorry. I can put a shirt on. It's just that the brake pad locked on the Nissan Micra this morning, and narrowly avoided a fire. So Mum, it's fine, Mum. Okay, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Anyway. Martin's ditched the shirts. Barney says, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Barney. Martin observes fast worker. Frankly, yes. The musical, it was some pretty fast work. And I kind of enjoyed that. You know, when you have that sort of time pressure where you're like, I don't really have time to stop and analyze whether this is any good or not. I just need to make it. So I'll make it. Here it is. This is me making it. So I found that quite liberating. And there was just enough time to sort of get it done. So, to recap before we have the music, or maybe we'll save it to the end. Maybe we'll have it now. What should we do? We'll have it now. I can't wait. This is a musical. Julie suggested that we do something about London and unlocking something along the lines of Oklahoma or Who Will Buy This Wonderful Morning. Something like that, I think. I may have stitched that on simply because I had an idea for where to go with that. And then Pat suggested that we make it about Spring-Heeled Jack, the Victorian half-man, half-demon who belched blue and white flame and who had strange metallic gloves or hands or something and could leap unfeasible heights and sort of leapt around terrifying people. So with that in mind, should we do this? And I would recommend, if you're watching this live on YouTube, listen to the podcast because it will be in stereo, and frankly, it will sound an awful lot better than it's going to sound here. So here it is. This is the world premiere. Buy my personal protective equipment. My personal protective equipment. PPE. 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 Anybody related to mankind. PPE. Gather round, I've got a story for you. Sure, this is a tale of some bad times for London, of dark days and darker nights. Through shadows we skirted, through streets all deserted. We bolted the doors and we dimmed all the lights. Lock down the town. Let the
the streets, be as mute as your mum out the back. Run and hide, stay inside. If you care about the whereabouts of Spring-Heeled Jack, lock it down.
Spring-Heeled Jack, now there's a rum 'un, for this is no tale of no modern-day virus and how it requires us to stay in our homes. For Londoners worried and hurried and scurried for different reasons 2 centuries ago.
Lock it down.
Plagued by a monster, half man and half beast, a terror in Londoners' art was released. His cloak would reveal a grip made of steel and eyes as red as a knob covered in yeast.
Lock it down, lock down the town. Stick to the shadows, keep watching your back, stay indoors. Fear the claws of the jumpingest, thumpingest, springiest heel jack. Lock it
And
down.
after a time it was just now and then, and the terror that lurked in all women and men, it started to fade, but still people prayed, for they feared that one day he might come back again.
Lock it down.
He's
lock
coming
down the
for
town. Stick to the
Breathing
shadows, keep
flames of
watching
white
your
and
back. Lock
blue.
it down.
The
lock
coppers
down
don't
the
know what
town.
to do about
It's
Spring-Heeled
Jack.
But like a frog on a cartwheel, it all smoothed out in the end, and London opened up again, just like today.
Who'd like to buy some non-essential items? Who'd like to buy some non-essential items? Who'd like to buy some non-essential items? Petrol and meat, it's all that you can eat. And me, hello London.
Hello, London!
Hello, London. London, hello.
We've tucked our thumbs in our braces and made astonished faces, leading with our heels like we've slipped on jelly deals.
I love London.
Like a proper cockney.
It's time for some 1960s British choreography.
Hello, London! Hello, London, twist your ankle!
Twist your ankle, twist your ankle.
Hello, London, rick your pelvis!
Rick your pelvis, rick your pelvis.
Hello, London, snap your femur!
Snap your femur, snap your femur.
Hello, London, swallow your tongue! Goodbye, London. It's time to go for me.
But I love the 1960s British choreography. And now it's time to conquer our way to the nearest A&E. Think of the neighbours. That's all I urge. Just think of the neighbours. I was like, I've got to get the vocals down before like 9 p.m. And then I thought I'll put some Banjolele in. Anyway, that was it. Thanks so much for your suggestions. We'll do another one next week. I really enjoyed doing that. That was a lot of fun. So, yeah, as I say, do listen on the podcast if you're not listening on the podcast, because trust me, it'll sound better. Anyway, in the meantime, we've had some communications via the magic of WhatsApp.
You can WhatsApp Jake, yeah, on 07862.
That's over 7862. Whoops.
032
032
654.
654. Now let's whistle it. We earlier in the week, John Holmes came and decided to have some opinions for coins. It's the hot new ticket in broadcast journalism, and what strong opinions they were. He was hosting Britain Awake, of course, Britain's lightest and brightest breakfast show, featuring all your favourite bigots. Anyway, it's late, but we've had this communication in, and I thought it was well worth giving oxygen to. Here it is.
Hello, this is a message for Britain Awake.
Hello.
I keep getting straight through the answer phone. I don't know, it says my number's blocked or something.
Yeah.
Anyhow, I'm just sick and tired of being called a racialist.
Right.
When all it is I'm frightened
Right.
and don't understand things that I don't understand, and
Exactly.
people are from places
Thank
that
you.
aren't this country.
Thank you.
And I don't understand what's going on. I'm frightened, Jake. I don't know what's going on. Are people allowed
Do
to
you wanna
cuddle me
cuddle?
now?
Yeah, have a cuddle. Yeah, thank you very much indeed for that. Always welcome the bigots and racists here. It's kind of our jam. Anyway, let's move to your emails. It's not today at swanburst.com. Neil says, bonjour, yapper. Quite happy with that. I hope you're still after some fun facts after all this time. Gosh, yes, this is a long time ago. I've got one here for you. Did you know that a lot of pirates became famous due to their nicknames based on visual characteristics? For example, Edward Teach, my favourite, otherwise known as Blackbeard, was so called due to his black beard. And Captain Birdseye was named due to his elongated face, protruding beak-like nose he used for preening, and his eyes on the side of his head. These gave him a 300-degree field of vision, very useful when handing out fish fingers to his youthful wards. Thanks, Jake, and welcome back. Thanks, Neil. Yeah, I'm entirely comfortable with the new Captain Birdseye adverts. Just him on a boat full of kids. What could go wrong? Edward Teach, he had like beads and ribbons that he wove into his beers, and he would show off by drinking rum with gunpowder in it. He kind of understood PR. Like he thought, if I make myself sound so scary and my reputation precedes me, then I don't have to do any real pirating work. It's quite a good idea, that. I visited the place where he met his fate. Well, he didn't meet his fate. He met a ship full of naval officers who shot him and stabbed him, and the deck was slick with blood, apparently. Oh. Beautiful place, Ocracoke. There's a bit in North Carolina. It's like a little sort of peninsula, and it sort of sticks out and droops down. Sorry, I didn't mean to be personal, but it does. And it's got amazing places on it. It's got Kitty Hawk, where the Orville, the Wright brothers, had their first flight. And the way they sourced that as a location was they sent a message out. They asked the Central Postal Service of America. They said, can you ask all your postal workers, we need a place that has a fairly steady wind of like 20 to 30 miles an hour. They must know because they're everywhere. Can you get them all to tell us? And someone said, Kitty Hawk, that's where you want to be. And it's at the beginning of this sort of peninsula. And that's the beach where the wind just sort of blows in steadily. And that's where they did their flight. And then you keep going down and until it tapers right the way down until it's this narrow little strip, and it's literally just a road. And there's tons of mica in the road, and it sort of twinkles and gleams. I went down there on Boxing Day 2003 by myself, and it was just magical. I was listening to Craig Armstrong, and the sun was shining down. And so driving south on my right, there was literally just like, I don't know, 20 yards of sand, and then this sort of the inlet, the water there. And I could see the sort of the land a little way further on. And on my left was the Atlantic Ocean. And it's just this strip, and you could see these poor houses that have been ravaged by Katrina, I think. And you drive right the way down to the end of this as it tapers down and down and down. And then you get to a boat, a ferry service. And it's a tiny little ferry, like it's smaller than the Woolwich ferry. And you drive on, and you're about, I don't know, 1 meter off the sea level. And it's all kind of silvery and shiny and really calm. And dolphins, just for fun, are like swimming ahead of the boat. Just sort of, and they're right there. It was magical. And you get to this little island called Ocracoke, and there are no commercial shops on it. There's no Starbucks, there's no McDonald's, there's nothing. And I just kind of hung out there for a few days, and it was the best thing ever. And that's where Blackbeard, he ran aground. The sands shifted with the tides, and he ended up stranded. And that's when the Navy came and got him. That's what happened. Edward Teach. What a guy. Amazing story. The final part of the story was they got rounded up by the Navy. The crew and stuff were seized, and they were all put in prison. And it turned out, and literally nobody knew. 2 of them were women. Nobody knew. And then, you know, it was a capital crime to be a pirate. And they were put up on the gallows, and the 2 women said, "You can't hang us. We're pregnant." And they were reprieved. And then finally, there was a guy. He was like the right hand man of Edward Teach. I can't remember his name. but he was put on the gallows, and he was just about to be hanged. And a ship put in. This is in, like, I don't know, like Jamaica or somewhere like that. A ship put into port that morning while he was literally standing on the gallows. Someone ran up the hill with a decree from London pardoning all pirates. And right at that moment, he was pardoned and allowed to go free. Unbelievable story. I've got a really good book about it. Anyway, that's enough pirate chat, isn't it? We've had enough of that. It's time for us to pick up a hashtag that we sort of launched earlier in the week, but then I didn't do anything with because, frankly, I was busy and there was a lot of stuff that I had to get through, which is hashtag when teachers break. Julie's emailed, says, morning, Jacob and the listener. Morning. And morning on behalf of the listener. Picture the scene. Orpington, 1989. It's way too easy to picture that scene. Newstead Wood School for Girls and 16-year-old Julie Fox. Yes, I used to be a fox. Oh, the irony. Come on now. And her classmates have played the ultimate April Fool's joke on their form teacher, Mr. Harris. Mr. Harris! Mr. Harris! He walks into the classroom to see that his desk is not there. Okay, very funny. Where's my desk? The entire class looks out of the window to see the field and woods, and there, in the distance, and I mean the far distance, is the desk. We had, of course, taken it out, knowing it would use up a good proportion of the lesson. He was annoyed. Very annoyed. And after picking on 4 people to go and get it, opened the door for them to go and get it. And that's when he broke. Because, unseen by him, we had sheathed the door handle with a condom, fresh from its slippery packet, which he duly put his hand on and recoiled. He then proceeded to shout, "Are you trying to turn me into an animal? Fine! I'll be an animal!" and started beating his chest and doing a gorilla impression. I was one of the girls that had to retrieve the desk. I don't know what happened during the 15 minutes it took us to retrieve the desk, but he was calm enough to carry on the maths lesson. Wow. That's amazing. Hashtag when teachers break. This is a good thread, I think. I've got one. There was a guy called Mr. Aikenhead. He really was, and he was a supply teacher, and he didn't stand a chance. It was a very, very rough school, my first secondary school. Like, I had to change school. That's what, I have a first secondary school. I have a second secondary. Anyway, you understand. Mr. Aikenhead, please be quiet. Oh, please be quiet. People are literally throwing chairs across the room. It was terrifying. Please be quiet, please. I went to school in France, and we all learned philosophy, and I think we should all learn philosophy. It's a very, very good subject, and it would really help. Please. People are, spitting on each, like punching each other, and then he broke. Hashtag when teachers break. He broke, and suddenly, just out of the blue, no, please. He just suddenly shouted, "Pour l'amour du ciel, un peu de silence!" And everyone was just like, Suddenly there was silence. And he was like, I'm sorry I did that. I'm sorry I had to do that. But really, you gave me no other option. And blah, 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 blah. So there you go. That's that. I'd love your story of hashtag when teachers break. You can email nottoday@swanburst.com. Rick's been asking on the YouTube, is Britain Away going to be a new regular? I think possibly. Yeah, I think we've got some. Time for that. And Jane, yes, Captain Birdseye. How would you like to see my fishy fingers, kids? All right. Pablo says, I like that they make it really clear that it's his grandson. Who are the others? Yeah. Good. Thank you very much indeed for all of that. Pablo's got a story. My geography teacher threw a hammer at me. What? It missed and smashed his prize fossil. Weirdly, he was really nice to me for the rest of my time there. No idea why. Oh, yes, the hammer. Amazing. Yeah, my German teacher. Hashtag when teachers break. I'll tell you that story another time. You've had enough of my teachers and them breaking. I didn't break him. John has emailed. Not today at swanburst.com. Dear Jape, do you have a spare picture of Holly Willoughby not looking slightly surprised? Just asking for a friend. Thanks. Oh, it's heady. P.S. No, I don't believe there are any photos of Holly Willoughby not looking slightly surprised. She's frequently mildly astonished by almost everything that there is. P.S. I bought a box of Golden Nuggets, that 80s breakfast cereal, hoping to reignite fond memories. Inside was the obligatory plastic John Holmes figurine. Has anyone got the rare motorcycle cop version? So far, I have 4 John Holmes firefighters, 2 scuba divers, and the male nurse with a colonoscopy device. Yes! Who could forget the John Holmes figurines? What ones do you have? Do let me know. Not today at swanburst.com or at nottodaypod. We should make some. I'd love a John Holmes figurine. I'd be all over that. I know what cruel people would say about that, but I'm not going to do that because, you know, I'm not cruel. Okay, well, that's it. That's the inaugural musical done. I'm going to be brave and say Davey will be here tomorrow, although I haven't actually sorted it out and we haven't negotiated a time. But I think that's probably what's going to happen. Thanks very much to everybody watching live on YouTube. Don't forget it's youtube.com/nottodaypod. If you subscribe and then you click on, there's like an icon of a bell. If you click on that, then it will tell you when I go live. And that's got to have some sort of arbitrary value that you can ascribe to it. I don't know what it would be. Anyway, this has been really fun. It's the last live one of the week. I will be back live at 10 o'clock on Monday, but there'll be a podcast tomorrow, of course. Patrons, they'll get to watch me and Davey recording. If you'd like to find out how to do that and get a bonus podcast of me and Davey, well now. All you need to do is go to patreon.com/nottodaypod. Not bad brand synergy, Jacob. Thank you very much, Jacob. Anyway, I will see you tomorrow. Lots of love.
This has been a Swanburst Media production.